Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, those terrific storms that are hitting New Orleans right now, they're not going to be hitting us until this weekend.
Yay!
Yay! Well, you know, how much land is that going to, like, it's just going to be a bad rainstorm by the weekend. But first things first, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to the Cafe Gallery right here at Gallery Cabaret!
Whoa, whoa! Whoa!
I see people just strolling in, and I'm like, I've got to start things. I know nobody wants to start up yet. And hi, how's everybody doing? I'm looking forward to the heat wave that's supposed to be coming this weekend. Then we'll get some rain for it as well. I was going to read one piece because somebody just bought it. I don't market my books, I just post them up, and somebody actually just bought this one of a collection of stuff from cc&d magazine. I think they bought it because of the title, The One Thing the Government Still Has No Control Over. It has a collection of poetry from past issues of mine, and one of the poems in there is called 15 Minutes, because this is painfully close to the anniversary of the day that my mom passed away. So I tried to find a lighter themed one for being able to start this evening with, and I thought because, well, you know, I was lightening my hair because of the sun and the summertime and then getting a little tanner, this totally seemed like an appropriate piece. So I was going to do this piece called 15 Minutes. We never talked much, and now that I'm grown up, I don't know what to say. And when I visit in Florida, it's still our relative distance, our relative quiet. I'd usually work on my laptop, either on the porch or in the kitchen. I'd try to help with food, asking, you know, is there anything you'd need from me as I clean up the pans and the dishes? But you'd always say, when you work indoors, that you like to sit outside for 15 minutes a day. And when you go outside, I'd join you. And we'd sit on the plastic and metal chairs in the end of your driveway. Maybe talk to each other for a while. Maybe you just tilt your head back and soak in the sun. And I'd try to do the same. But every once in a while, I turn to see you there, eyes closed, resting in the sun. And seeing you there would just make me feel better. I was like, I should do something for my mom. And there's just tons of pieces about her death. I'm like, I'm not going to do that. And I got this ring that Mom gave me, and blah, blah, blah. And I've got my tennis stuff on. I don't know if anybody cares about the U.S. Open, but it's all starting up right now, and I got my little tennis racket on, and Andy Roddick's birthday is tomorrow, and I'm like, yay, tennis, but I don't know if anybody cares. But I just wanted to say we should actually get moving with this, because we're only going from 7 till 9 in the evening. I saw a bunch of people, and some people just showing up. I'll have to add your name to the open mic list. And I see we've got a phenomenal feature here with Bob Rashkow. But first things first, because he was the first one that stumbled here, I'm going to see if Mr. Bruce Matteson would come up on stage. Please give it up for Bruce!
Thank you. Thank you. This is Oh, It's You. Rocket Man runs into his old pal, Wardowski. Hey, zup, y'all. Wardowski here, getting on up with the inside for you. Yo, yo, yo. Why do you do that shit, man? Jesus, I hate that. I hate when people try to sound like something they aren't. In this case, you. Trying to pretend you know which end of the ugly stick that beat your sorry ass had shit on it. You ain't a homie, Broham. You're a homer. Oh, like your mumble has bling. Let me tell you something. Stop. Just stop before I throw up all over you. Yeah, you're cramping all up over my decoration, cuz. Wardowski, I used to like talking to you. You used to be interesting and know stuff. You haven't been right since you went to the islands and came back saying mahalo instead of aloha. Don't know what the natives taught. Don't you know that the natives taught you that, so you go around saying I'm a dumb shit. I haven't been right since the ladies went south. That's a fact. The ladies didn't go anywhere. You're the traveler, man, just because they like each other more than a moron. They even asked if I'd seen you. What'd you tell them? Said we were going to start a detective agency and specialize in runaway wives. Said you were thinking of hunting them down. What'd they say? Said nice you got some ambition. Good to believe you're going to get off the couch. Said not to hurt yourself. Next one's called All the People Walking into Bars. Humanity the great generator, one constant under every god, relentlessly divisible, hell-bent on liberty and justice for none, generation after generation after generation. The gap, nothing more than a failure to pay attention. Few denominators as common as our penchant for curtains, caveman curtain. The world is my clan and you're not in it. The God curtain, this man image, extension of my little male baby maker who speaks to me but not to you. The feudal curtain, my God wants me to own everything and you to work it. The bigotry curtain, don't look at me while I'm screwing you, look at my other victims. The iron curtain, trust me, they're worthy of your hatred. The curtain is so you don't have to watch while we bomb them in your name. Joke of the millennium, a CEO tea partier and a union organizer walk into a bar. The bartender puts up a dozen drinks. The CEO takes 11 and tells the tea party guy, watch that union guy, he's going to want part of your drink. The CEO says to the tea party guy, the union guy is going to attack you, I can sell you a gun. And he tells the union guy, the tea party guy is buying a gun from me. I think you're going to need one too. Finally, the CEO says to the tea party guy, I can put all the worker bees in my prisons for you. And the tea party guy says, yay, free labor. And the CEO says, but you're going to have to guard them for me, so you'll all be locked up together. And everyone said, ha ha ha, huh? My last piece is called Bixby and Muffin in Studio Days. Kisses, hun, when he picks her up in his maroon Packard convertible. God, that rich, syrupy voice, he grins. Money in the bank. Another faded fruit crate morning, rolling off the pink and purple Ojai mountains and blue citrus grove splendor, made black and white with shades of sepia by oil and aerospace, backed up by the Burbank Hills, where people don't buy cars, they win them on game shows, paying only the taxes and a little something for Cal Worthington and his dog Spot. Will this part make me happy, Dixons? He explained it 100 times, his tennis sweater tied casually around his shoulders by its arms, but the gold in them thar hills were in the double D she led with. No one really cares about your happiness, Muffy, he thought to himself, but said aloud, big smile, and remember, I do the talking, Cupcake. Oh, you're a real smooth character, aren't you, Bixby? Sometimes I'm sorry for the day I met you. Ever on the edge of pouty, Christ, the mouths of babes, hand that feed you and all that. No one really cares about your sorrows either, sister, he thinks, but only quips, what's a palm tree without a camel? And she just says, huh? No bottle blonde, she. She gets fidgety, kept too long under lights, but she keeps her lines straight and boo-boops in all the right places. The suit tells him to come around for drinks and a contract. He picks a turkey club on a flour tortilla off the food cart. Well, she says, what's this? As he hands it to her. That's a wrap, California, says he.
Thank you. I was busy collecting my money because I have the purple bag from hell, but it is here for all of your savings to go for our feature this evening. I'm doing it early and I'm going to have to come around when people show up later, so I'm going to pass it over to you. My little sidestep Bob, and I can't even throw accurately. I'll throw to you first, so give your life savings because his features are always worth it. Trust me.
Only 9, actually.
But I think the next one I'm going to have on my list, even though it's not evenly dispersing my women, I'm going to call Annebelle Echo. Annebelle, get on up here. I haven't even had any of my M&Ms. It was so awesome.
Luckily, I have safe shoes.
And she's seen that I had mentioned that I really liked M&Ms that are dark chocolate that have a mint coating. She finds them, and she's found me a second one. I've been sacred of one a day, and I'm like, I haven't found them forever. So I'm like, M&Ms forever.
I'll keep buying the last bag. An MIT Pentagon paper. looks like blood, or why the Pentagon doesn't care what you do. Ask Noam Chomsky. Okay, here, the fall is coming, so here's one for the fall. Ex-husband number 54 keeps 2 helmets in your locker. Scratches bare butt. Okay. I was just in San Francisco, so I wrote this to, it's hard to leave Chicago, but I love San Francisco too, so I wrote this about San Francisco. Cold air whirls around knees. Weather changes. 1,000 tablets buys 325 milligrams at Safeway. And here's one about Chicago. Lone little girl rides yellow bus. Looks out first row window. Sneak smile and cookies.
I was going to say that was very short, but the thing is, we should probably keep in mind for the number of people that are here, we should limit it to 3 or 5 minutes, whatever, because that'll even be a really, really tight fit to go straight to the feature. And in fact, I'm going to call what's his name on up there. So if somebody would actually, I think I'll talk about the collection books once he's done, because he's talking about the current issues of cc&d and Down in the Dirt magazine. So hopefully, ladies and gentlemen, please give it up for John Yatko. Come on up here. I know it's really late. cc&d stuff, and it's like the end of the month, you know, like next time I'm here, I'm going to be like, the December issue is out.
Yeah, so I got the new issues of Down in the Dirt and cc&d, and this one here has a photograph of a spider like the size of my thumb on the back. We went walking out on the back porch and basically ran into a huge spider web that was sitting back there, and I think a little bit later a blue jay came by and got caught in it.
It's huge.
Huge, huge. The first piece I'm going to do is called Fall by Travis Green. Brown color oak tree stands near the doghouse. Sunlight shines lower and bright red, and purple leaves rest near my doorstep. Well, I thought I heard an echo, but fairly turned nothing. Just the sky looking into my steel eyes, each time tracing my heartbeat, trapping my lucid language into burning, drained dreams. And this next one, actually, I actually kind of thought I understood it whenever I read it, but who knows, I'm not too good at understanding poetry. It's called A Ship in Flight by Jenene E. Marshall.
You had the best thing on that piece.
You think so?
It's the words.
It's the words. It's the words, yeah. It seemed to me like it was people breaking up. Somebody was breaking up, and the person that loved her just was more like a hanger-on that she wasn't really as interested in him, I guess you could say, as he wasn't hers, the way I felt it went. A Ship in Flight by Jenene E. Marshall. The arrow goes spinning out, fast and far, landing on an orbit, near spheres and stars that can see and shine. Like curves in space, in her rotation, I feel the gravity. But who knows, I could be way off the mark on that.
I thought they shot a satellite into space, but it didn't sound as poetic as you were.
Well, she's no good with that poetry stuff.
What is it poetry?
And this is from cc&d, the August issues. Which ones we're going to do here? This one's called Comparison by Joseph Hart. You've got to understand me, George. My family was like the other people on a subway car. Strangers I will never get to know, feel no curiosity about, who will exit at another station. Except they hollered, cussed, and gave commands and criticized. On a subway, I move unimpeded, but 4 numbers. And then I I guess this will be the last one I do. It's called The Horror Show of Earth Swarms with Them, from Robert D. Lyons. For every poet, there are 10 million swollen livers, all breathing, burning, decaying, and wishing, while sitting quietly on a bar stool, like God on his throne.
Like God on his throne, that's what all of us drinking poets are, isn't it? Or something. Before anything was stopped or went on to the next person, I figured I might as well say that 3 times a year I release collection books of partial issues of cc&d. He first read from Down in the Dirt, so I will show the collection book for Down in the Dirt, and it's called Purpose. And it's got a lot of cool things in it, which I think, anyway, it's cool. So I'll just say it like that, Purpose. And it's actually named after one of the pieces that is in the story. cc&d, which actually went into 2 editions because there were chapbooks, because I got a lot of chapbooks in this time. I saw a doorway. I have no idea what this place is here in Chicago, and it said The Mission on it. So I said, well, that's going to be a couple of editions. We'll have an issues edition and a chapbooks edition of The Mission. So there was a bunch of stuff in here, and I'm sure I've got things from Bruce in here, and CE and Interstice. I'm trying to remember the pieces that somebody bought here. There's a lot of stuff in these things.
It's good.
And so there's a lot. You like Interstice? That was the thing, and that's in here as well. And so anyway, there's a lot of cool things in my books, but they just came out. But anyway, I'm going to just shut up and say, speaking of books, I'm going to talk about the man who has his penchant for books. So please, ladies and gentlemen, please give it for Mr. Bill Yarrow.
The first poem I'm going to read is about Sherwood Anderson, the author of Winesburg, Ohio. He died in a very strange way, so this is about his death. It's called The Death of Sherwood Anderson. He was on a cruise ship eating hors d'oeuvres when he swallowed the green toothpick, which punctured his intestine, causing the peritonitis which corrupted his blood and catapulted him into an alien grave. Or was it bald sadness, unhappiness upended by misery, desolation made gray by despair? Whatever the cause, he died like the Bible in Mauritania, like a mouse in a vial of ammonia, like a retired coal miner on vacation in the Alps, like novelty in a nursing home, like streptococcus in outer space, like panache in sundered life. This next one is called The Semaphore of Civilization, and it has an epigraph to it, and it's from a play by Thomas Middleton called The Changeling, and it goes, you are the deed's creature, and by that name you lost your first condition. This is called The Semaphore of Civilization. There's no virtue in anonymity, in isolation, in stoicism, in silence. There's no happiness in loneliness, oscillation, persecution, fear. There's no resurrection in resentment, hatred, indifference, pride. There's no rescue in the selfish dark. We are the deed's creature. We are creatures. We are of the flowers. We are de flores. There's no one alive who wouldn't undo the past, no one in our past who wouldn't rejoice to hold us again. No hold we can grip to help us climb the fog. We're alone and besieged by badness. We crave rescue, but there's rescue only in the selfless dark. We are creatures. We are the deed's creature. We are de flores. We are of the flowers. And this last one I'm going to read is a little bit longer than the poems that I've been reading. And it's called The Sky is Simply White. I am accosted by Jean Cocteau, who counsels me, read Marinetti, finish the Brandenburg poem, understand the gas heart, Memorize the 15 propositions of God. Take seriously the question, what have I got to lose? The goat in my throat, companioness, runs wild. I try to hesitate, but I traverse the walls. This, among others. We think in eternity, but move slowly through time. This, among others. Not A, not B, not this, not that. Each is each other. All is all other. I am the several subdivisions of my fellow man, living in Dubuque, Framingham, Sonoma. I accept cowardice, but only in light of racked heroism. I accept the fantastic. I accept the prophetic. I accept the lunatic, but never fantasy, never lunacy, net to the prophets. My mind rocks back and forth upon itself. One day the metal will split. He sleeps, a sentry to his skin, the sun, the water, sand, the wind. His tongues, two friends, one grim, one trim, roll out sticky but neat as a pin. In his dreams a butterfly enters the hole in the fat boy's eye. He shudders. The rope dancer accompanies herself with her shadows. Balzac, sometimes it seems to me as if my brain were on fire and I were fated to die on the ruins of my mind. No Brandenburg concertos, no concerts, no wind. All's ushered out. Then it begins. A descent of rain, a white wind gusts. The place abounds in Icarus. Baudelaire's aspiration, absolute rest and continuous night. Let wisdom rot in prison. If only I could ease in the petty world of kings, the placid tyranny of natural things. My cowardice speaks out of turn. And when the man went back again, the moon had doffed its diadem. In the dimness of the cafe, the manager is arranging the tables and chairs, the ashtrays, the siphons of soda water. It is 6 in the morning. The falcon is on his wrist. The weather is on his wing. The sky is simply white. The rain begins. Cocteau screams. The rain is no terrible epitaph. Thank you.
Because of the speediness of time, I'm trying to figure out, and I think Mark Smith would do this, and so I'm going to have to say, after the next person that's going to read, which is my lovely and charming sidekick, Bob Rashkow, our poet on deck after that will be Tom Roby, so prepare yourself. But ladies and gentlemen, please give it up for Mr. Bob Rashkow.
I can't think of a better way to unwind after my first week of being on the phones at LTD Commodities up in Bannockburn than the Poetry Pentathlon, which is going to be Friday, September 7th at the Bookseller on 47-something on Lincoln, in beautiful Lincoln Square, one of the best bookstores in Chicago. And I'll be competing with 7 brilliant people, I think including tonight's feature, if I'm not mistaken. So y'all come. I have my Tanka poem. I haven't done the other 2 yet, the poetic monologue and the secret word poem, but I have this nice 3-day weekend coming up to work on that. Anyway, for a little something different, I have 2 more poems by my wonderful friend Rory Jobst, companion pieces to the Rorsky plays, which were presented back in May at Oracle Theater. And I only have about 12 or 13 more of these celebrity poems to print out, so these are the next 2 anyway. And the first one for his friend Katie Bartholomew Furr, let's see, is no Adrian Brodies were harmed in the making of this picture. And of course it's about Adrian Brody. Would people take me seriously if I were a giant chicken? I could have pecked a hell of a concerto in The Pianist, and I would have broken more hearts. The Holocaust survivors would want to eat me. Would I have to run from them too? Hell, I would want to eat me. I dip my wing in hot, boiling oil and nibble away, hiding in that dank tenement. Oscars love cannibalism. Oscars love limb amputation. Therefore, Oscars love Chicken Brody. Would people take me seriously if I were a giraffe? I'd leave my Gillette endorsement and embrace my new digs at Toys R Us. As the newly branded Jeffrey the Giraffe, I'd pimp out my King Kong action figure to the next generation. And when I smoke a cigarette, I look like Joe Camel, Joe Cool. Call me a giraffe. Call me a chameleon, the love child of a giraffe and a chameleon. Paint myself green and play a brontosaurus. Paint myself silver and play an anthropomorphized fire pole. Paint myself pink and play a radioactive mutant nightcrawler. I'm not a special effect. I breathe. I cry. I break dance. I'm cheaper than CGI. I work for leaves. Would you take me seriously if I were a virus? I could play the villain in one of those Outbreak movies, unseen like the hunter who shot Bambi's mother. Rig me with a mic, and I'll play the Invisible Man, or a ghost, or the devil. And if the director and I have creative differences, I'll bathe in his Diet Coke between takes. Would you take me seriously if I were a woman? Maybe if I got a nose job? Pig. And for Rory's friend Susie Jobst, or his sister, or whoever she is, Liza Minnelli. My son asked me who Liza Minnelli was. I said, she's a very famous movie star. What was she in? He asked. Cabaret, I shouted emphatically. What else? He asked. I stammered. What's that about? He asked. Oh, it's a musical about people trying to remember things. Hold on. Like, Liza can't remember the lyrics to Don't Rain on My Parade at an important audition, and her life goes into disarray as a result. Wasn't that on an episode of Glee? Asked my son. And I said, it was an homage, son. An homage. What else was she in? Well, what's that about? It's a musical about an English teacher in the inner city who teaches her students the value of grammar through song and dance. And the theirs in the title is spelled THEY''RE''S. Get it? My son stared at me, took a pause, then asked, is she working on anything now? Yes, it's a musical called, it's a Crash Test Dummies musical. And it co-stars Alanis Morissette. Who's that? Asked my son. Oh, she sang... Thank you.
I'm still like, I keep looking at my glass. It's like hard to see because I look in the dark, and I know it glows in the dark, but I have to put it in the light to see it. So, all right, I told you that the guy that was up next is the Mr. Suave and Debonair himself, Mr. Tom Roby. That means the one on deck is Miss Jenene Ravesloot. So please, ladies and gentlemen, give it up for Mr. Tom Roby.
Thank you so
Well, it's the end of the summer and time for death. And so I'll begin with my affair with the corn goddess, or actually her daughter, Persephone. Driving to St. Louis along Illinois corn rows, drawn by your indefinite diaphanous gown of wavering heat to share your view over flickering flame tassels and afternoon sun, I feel your allure spring up and fall down every year. I hesitate on the hem of your infinite field, seeking the horizon, wondering what it would mean to be boiled in water, regurgitated by cows, popped and candied and frittered away, nothing left but a withered bent stalk and the dry, cracked husk, my oblivious seeds concealed in shedded sacks, waiting to rise again so we can hide and seek among the spring stands until, taller than the tallest tassel, we fall over and over into pulsating cricket choruses above our ears in summer corn. I touch your flaring form to stand at our field's brim while I assess my prospective 25 years, doubling perhaps to 50 crops if I buy them in half-life lots, each a fresh autobiography, or calculate how to survive radiation, overcultivation, and pesticide, not to mention Monsanto, for 100,000 summer suns until afterthoughts of immortality pop in solar flames. I try to hold you on my edge, but you wave away. So I exit the stretching highway with a transient human love. Persephone. Death waits on our table. Chatty and fat, too spoiled to recall the Heimlich maneuver, hovers with plump hands above the choking patron, then tearful, gnaws a leftover chicken bone until the phone rings, dead on arrival. Death unwinds after her workout, daydreams at the bus stop, careless of the running late against the light 7-year-old until she bounces off the bumper, caught lifeless, so she won't hit the concrete. Death queues up at the grocery checkout, face red with coughing, sweating through layers of sweaters and cloaks, delivers mouth to mouth to the old man in pulmonary collapse, but no air goes in. Death bustles about the hospital nursery in a starched uniform, white face mask eager to pamper. Bottle feeds one newborn crier, detects too late the too quiet next crib, no breath on the mirror. Death leads the battlefield charge, halts to save his buddy, shoves him out of the way of the bullet with his name on it into the minefield. Death wades despondent into the icy lake, gets dragged out by the rescue squad, pulls through with warm baths and electric blankets, and is back on the street in a week. Death waits. And finally, a short conclusion. Evensong. I love that time of night. Before night comes, when the last lit skies rest blue in the elms, whose limbs are as black as the night that comes, and their silent leaves are but a thought of green. When you are near, I love that time. Thank you.
All right.
Thank you. I know you've already all heard that Jenene Ravesloot is going to be the next one, but I want to say the poet on deck is Patrick Hurley, so he can get ready for the next one. So please, ladies and gentlemen, I got another girl here. Check it out. Give it up for Miss Jenene Ravesloot. I know it. You know, I just said it was lightning in the sun. Am I just like that a little?
I really like it.
It's good for the summer.
So I'm out with a new book, The Chronicles of Starbo.
Yeah! Whoa, whoa.
And I'm going to read a couple really small ones because I know time's racing by. This is a bracelet of fake coins, jangles from one white ankle. Real goldfish swim in lucite heels. I don't want to grow younger, not even by 1 year, she says. And then she lights a goa, the lines above her lips puckering imperceptibly. Me and Pretty Mary at the bar, Bobby flipping burgers in the back, killing roaches with frozen steaks. Julie walking through the door, a blue tattooed butterfly fluttering on one white breast, while Matt passes another reefer back and forth, puts a quarter in the jukebox, plays Lush Life. Then Jake rolls dice across green cloth, snake eyes, no drinks all around. New York City, slice of life, no different from LA or Chicago. Same bum sleeping it off in a pawn shop doorway, whiskey bottle stuffed in his hip pocket. Same rat running against an invisible wall. Same disfigured dog dying in an alley. Same loveless girl riding a sidewalk in a pair of torn bell-bottom jeans. yellow eyes dancing like two manic stars hanging over any avenue at midnight. Thank you.
Thank you, thank you. I'm double plus pleased because I feel like Annebelle, I part of the video and a bunch of men, and I'm like, oh, I feel like I'm just dominated by men, but I think I've got like women nicely interspersed throughout for the rest of the evening. Yeah, because we're awesome. So even though you guys all know the bit, well, it's just you cameraman, who, by the way, it's awesome. Just having this guy, he's like, I'm going to take pictures, but it's awesome. Chuck Kramer. You get to hear from him later. Awesome. We all know that Patrick Hurley's going to be up next, but I wanted to let you know that Poet on Deck will be Robin Fine, because we're all in the ladies' club here. So please, ladies and gentlemen, give it over Mr. Patrick Hurley.
Great. Thank you very much. I'll be reading from my 8th book, Screws Fall Out, which I have copies. It feels wonderful, and it's actually printed on recycled grocery bags, which are recycled paper in itself, right?
Yeah.
All right. Battered and broken. Here we are, battered and broken. Here we are, bruised by life, cast on the rocky shore of our own creation. Life and love taken for granted. We wish for a new beginning, we long for a love lost, pining in probability, looking for solace, for sanctuary. In our embrace, we held love. In our pride, we held the sword, sharp on both sides, cutting our spirit, draining our souls. Our future so planned is now without direction, cast adrift on chance, on random circumstance. In a hotel room. Hotel rooms all smell the same. That sterile, sublime, clean, that only exists in travel. So much cleaning product, so much distance from where we are and where we're going. Yet, here we are, in this room, on this bed, next to this short sofa, with the lamp on and music playing because you know how I like music. And I close my eyes one last time to see you, to see us, to see two humans in life living out the slow steps of procreation, the slow steps of destruction. Nothing is everything. On the porch, my hands are cold, driven by the thought, the feeling of my thumb on your ear. Fingers touching the nape of your neck, we eat and we drink and share ourselves open. This is where foundations are laid. Your hand in mine, under the blanket, fingers dovetailed to comfort. This is comfort, satisfaction, simplicity. Hand in hand, feet wrapped in a subtle braid. I rest my head on your bosom. You pet my head, we relax. An evening spent doing nothing is everything. Thank you.
Thank you. This is so fascinating. You're just like, well, Robin finds the next note, but I figure I should let them. Am I stealing it by saying that the Mark Smith and the Poet on Deck, just so that you guys know who's coming up next for the people who are about to read?
You can steal from Mark.
He said that's not like. Is it? I mean, and he said that, and I'm saying that because.
And I
Pardon
always
me?
thought David Rubin.
Reuben,
The Poet on Deck is the one who said that?
Yeah.
Okay, then I don't know who the hell said it, so I'll just follow in the tradition of all the friggin' poets I've ever seen before. I said, after Robin Finer, Poet on Deck, will be our wonderful photographer, Mr. Chuck Kramer, is going to be coming up next. Uh-oh. So please, ladies and gentlemen, give it up for Robin Fine.
Hi, everybody. I thought I'd do some different things. I was in New York about 5 years ago, and I went to the Guggenheim Museum for the first time. And there was a person by the name of Tacita Dean, who's an artist, and she did a tree out of construction paper in different shades of white and gray and black. So this is written 4 years ago about His Majesty. Spiraling upward towards heaven, a kaleidoscope of black and white dances with shades of gray, a celluloid imprint of single moment in time, never-ending reflection of monochromatic light. Royal shapes come to life, the character of strength is revealed, ancient in texture he holds court. Stoic and regal, majestic branches reach out and take hold of the sky. Strong roots dig deep to capture the earth like wooden soldiers. They guard their charge with defiance. The essence of long ago and far away permeates the wind. From one tiny seedling, this universe of ours bursts into sunlight, and we shine, strong and invincible. We ascend into our future as our past slowly fades into eternity, and we are left with the simplicity of nature. Mediocre words. White lines on white paper, invisible ink spills into frenetic monochrome of emptiness, even and unbending. Life's page filled with black and white, which blur to gray with each stanza's predictable, stilted, cliched, and bland. We write only ghost words, bloodless, haunting our imaginations, haunting our unfulfilled expectations. We doodle. Confined to margins, afraid to make a mark, to take a chance, afraid of failing, afraid of falling. But what defines a life well lived? Money, power, beauty, or breathing fire to make hearts flame. We long to leave something behind, something that inspires, something stronger than our fragile human hands. Desire ignites deep within, flesh emblazoned. Our soul cries out, I am here, I am now, see me. Let my essence wash over you, flood through you. But only silence listens with stoppered ears, till across white pages, blues and purples and reds and greens, rainbows from our fingertips smudge our words into tomorrow, saturating the gray universe with infinite love and color, changing the whole goddamn world one line at a time. This is sort of a work in progress and sort of political, called Lady Liberty. I think we have forgotten Lady Liberty. You offered us refuge, words imprinted on our souls, Lady Liberty. Give me your tired, your poor, your huddled masses yearning to be free. So we came, wrapped in your red, white, and blue, Lady Liberty, with split tongues and dirty fingernails, brown skin from fields and black lungs from mines, where dirty tenements replaced dirt floors, where bedbugs were the same, just spoke different languages, where ignorance changed names to suit comfort, from Himmelstein to Stein, from Rosenzweig to Rose. You offered us a promise, Lady Liberty, a promise of freedom and liberty, and we swallowed it whole, and I think we have forgotten. How did we go from we the people to those people? The dream is still the same, Lady Liberty, just the complexion has changed. So tightly bound by fear, one type of shackles replaced by another, unspoken words separate but equal. Handcuffed by hatred for fear of change, fear of acceptance, fear of that which is different, and here at your first test, we have failed. We have failed, Lady Liberty, for history always repeats itself, and I am afraid. I am afraid, Lady Liberty, that this future, our future, may already be written in stone.
I feel terrible bad.
Well, first of all, I want to say she should go into a mic, because I know at least one person moved forward, because like I can't hear her, I'm going to have to go forward to hear her. So we want to be able, apparently people want to hear you. Get on up there. I'm just letting you know. And I also wanted to say I really, really like that last piece. And no, I don't look for poets by going to this open mic that I host. But if I find something cool that I hear, Lady Liberty I really like, you could be in a future issue of cc&d if you send it my way. It is on film now, wherever the camera is. You will send that unto me. and the masses will be happy or something. So, ladies and gentlemen, because I can't remember this one's last name. I think it was Hunt. Virginia Hunt is going to be the one that poets up on deck. But and he's just still playing with his camera. It's a story of a man. Is he ready to come up on here? Because I really look forward. Are you ready, my love?
Sure.
Or am I supposed to be taking pictures of you with your camera? I don't think you trust me with it.
You can take a picture.
All right, I'll figure it out because I'll have to learn how. But please, ladies and gentlemen, give it up for Chuck Kramer.
So thank you, Jan. It's nice to be here at the Gallery Cabaret. Always an exciting venue. So kids are going back to school. I figured this is the perfect time to do a graduation poem. So this is high school graduation. You bounce across the stage with a proud, tasseled grin. Sure, the adult world will greet you with a smile on the other side of your diploma. Little do you know or care that the days stretch with seamless precision to a pockmarked future of jobs and lost loves and cold meals, where hands ring with confusion, faces wrinkle with disappointment, and sheets are stained with tears and terror. Today, dreams sparkle on the TV screen of your imagination as you parade in spotlight triumph to the cheers of your peers, the delight of your parents, and the promise of tomorrow, when you will cut your teeth on the knife blade of reality, which lurks so quietly, so deceptively, in the back pocket of your youth. Whoa. Trying to cover all bases. This is a love poem. So we'll try to get everybody in. The title of this is Toothpaste and Shit Part 3. Wife and I sleep together in a queen-size bed, so there's plenty of room for both of us. But I still spend most of the night scrunched up against the lip of the mattress, since the wife slides up behind me and wraps her legs over mine, her arm pawing at my chest like a puppy hungry for petting. She claims she's cold, that I warm her up. But I suspect she's worried that I'll take off on her, flee into the night, and she'll wake to an arid horizon of empty pillows and hollow dreams. You'd think that after 20 years she'd be able to snore through the night on her side of the sheets. But she's not like that. She worries. I guess that's why she runs with me. I used to run alone, running miles in endless circles around the cinder track. But now she joins me and huffs and puffs along, chasing after me, keeping me in sight as we exercise together. But we don't do everything together. On days when we both work, she uses the bathroom first. A conscientiously clean person, her morning ministrations address both internal and external needs. She always begins her day with a bowel movement to cleanse her intestinal tract, and then scrubs the hell out of her teeth with the help of a noxiously sweet toothpaste, which reeks with chemicals and artificial fresheners. When I follow her into the bathroom after her purgations and evacuations, I'm assaulted by the rancid odor of shit waging war with those perfume-disguised disinfectants of the toothpaste, and I gag at this enforced togetherness which stinks with this staleness of fetid dreams swirling in the toilet bowl of my middle-aged American myopia. Yeah. That's love.
Yeah, that's love.
That's love.
Up close and personal.
All right, so
This is playoff. Heading east on Addison, I drive through Wrigleyville, and the hours before the game gathering of Cub fans who swarm the ballpark like pilgrims descending on a sacred shrine, I don't have a Cubs cap or shirt, and I'm not infected with Cubs fever. I'm just an old man with a white beard and a rusted Toyota, driving through a face-painted horde of young zealots. But I'm not put off by their ardent devotion to the American religion of sport. Just amused as they scream, "Go Cubbies!" and shake their fist in the air, tremulous at what strikes them as an historic moment, which I don't see. But I'm okay with that because it works for them. What works for me is the transgendered world of queens and clubs and cross-dressing switch hitters 2 blocks from the ballpark, where the Boys Town Swish is the transfigured midnight twin of Wrigleyville's All-American macho swagger. The traffic slows near Clark Street, and I honk in neighborly support of our local jocks and their fans' passionate commitment, hoping I get to Rochelle, who's really Ralph, before the cops block the street and make everything difficult.
Yeah.
This is my Clairol poem. Blondes have more fun. It's the American way. And American women love to pay and pay to have their tresses, red, brown, and black, bleached and colored till they look like a pack of albino sheep. And American men can't resist a head that's blonde or platinum. Highlighted, frosted, or bleached, they're like Pavlov's dogs, drooling at straw. Picked from a catalog, really, there ought to be a law. Now, I'm not an all-American boy searching the streets for a blonde toy, bleached and permed, afraid of her roots, shaved and creamed, wearing plastic boots, all dressed up with nowhere to go, a chemical head who's really been snowed. She bought the spiel and now she thinks her hair is real. I want a woman with a natural way, with hair that's brown, black, red, or gray. A woman who can laugh and say, "Oops, I forgot to shave today." All the time, just the way a woman who knows she's fine all the time, just the way she is, who's Mexican, black, Irish, or Asian, and celebrates every occasion. Because being a real woman is being yourself, not a mass-produced Barbie on a shelf. So if you're a natural blonde, good for you. And if you're not, well, that's great too. You're an American girl rocking the world, swinging that hair, setting hearts a-twirl. Celebrate yourself the way you are and leave the chemicals in the jar. Because what's on your head is regal, a queenly croft that's sure to astound as it grows long, natural, and free, a banner of beauty for all to see. All right, thanks a lot.
I have no idea if the photos will do you justice, but that was awesome. Thank you very much. And I thought that was entirely an appropriate thing to end that on, because as I went outside to go for walks, my hair was getting lighter and lighter and lighter. And I'm like, well, why don't I put some Sony in it and make my hair lighter, and why not? And so now I've got my whole straw look, which I think you were going on that last one, which is, well, I'll do this for the summer, and then I'll just dye it red and get it dark again to my real color. But
It's more of an aesthetic.
it was fun to do. I'm getting tan. Why not? We'll try that for a while. I'm holding this one more time in case there was anybody that missed out on it before, because he's worth it. If you haven't gone, go hunt me down like the evil bitch I am, and say, I've got money for the man for Bob Lawrence this evening. So, because he, how many times am I going to say he so deserves it? We all know that the next one up is our new poet on deck, but after that, I think it is our final open micer, and that would be because I have to end it on a bizarro note with Sid Yiddish. But unless somebody else has come up that I'm unaware of, but please give me a screaming, hoot, and hollering welcome for our new poet here. Give it up for Virginia. Hi, Virginia.
All right.
Well, you know,
She's been here before.
you know, if you're not here every week, you know, Yeah, for the liquor bottle, you mixed that at the beginning with the poets. But what is the poem from John? Every poet is actually like a million livers that are.
I love
so
that.
we're all just drinking. So if we
No pun intended, I caught it.
Thank you.
Hey, how you guys doing today? Okay, first poem is I'm going to do two short ones. This one's called My Love for the Land of the Rising Sun. You guessed it's about Japan. Nearing 18 months passing since Mother Nature attempted a catastrophe on you, land of the rising sun. Yet, you still live and still thrive as one single nation. From this, I still am with you. I still cry for you. Still pray for you. Land of the rising sun. Because all of the unconditional love you have for me, even though I am a gaijin, and I am on the other side of the world, so far away from you. Yet, my love for you is as strong and true as ever before. Even before the attempted catastrophe from close to 18 months ago. Because of your acceptance of me as a human being, from an unknown being or place of the source of your love for me, of which I am forever grateful of and for. So I must say my most sincere thanks to you, land of the rising sun, for everything you showed and taught me. And because of you, I now know what it means to be compassionate about unconditional love for everyone. Thank you. Okay, this is the last one because I have to make a beeline to Heartland Cafe like right after this. It's called Humbled by a Wildflower. It's for my late friend Janice. She lost her battle with cancer a few months ago. Winds blowing ever so gently from maybe the west, and a wildflower is placed into my hands. Where it came from is beyond me, but it fits into my two hands like a pair of gloves, warming my two hands on a winter's night at minus 15 outside, and try to find a decent shelter for the night. And all of a sudden I start to cry, because inside this heart of mine I have a feeling as to who sent this wildflower to me, yet had difficulty giving this very flower to me themselves, because I'm so far away from them. So maybe, just maybe, it was supposed to be sent to me this way, to remind me that no matter how crazy my life seems to get, there is at least someone who is watching over me from the heavenly skies that are above my head and shoulders to ensure my being okay is a daily sort of reality every one of us can live with. So I am humbled by all natural beauty. Thank you.
Thank you. Sorry that my memory sucks. That's it. Having like, what? What was the poet thing? I won't mention it again. I think our last poet on deck is Mr. Sid Yiddish, but I wanted to be able to say that Davey, who is here for the singer-songwriter night which follows, is actually going to come up and play something, and that will actually end our open mic. Yay. So yay! I'm like, he's like, well, can I do that? I said, okay. And I'm like, well, yeah, it says open mic, but that means you can play a song, and I would double plus love it. So he's going to end it off. So please, ladies and gentlemen, give it up for Mr. Sid Yiddish!
I guess I'm supposed to lean into the mic. So y'all had a good summer? Yeah, mine's been full of midgets and dead bodies, so, but I'm not here to talk about that.
Were the dead bodies midgets?
Just about. talk about baseball. This is a poem called Seventh Inning Stench. Last call for alcohol, last call for your nation at bat. It was that last great league in Irish town where he never forgets the crack of the bat that feels like the spit of his fame just blowing in the breeze. Like the old crumpled skeleton staring at the door with his head between its knees. Old skeleton knows where it's going night after night after night to wash its hands of curses and sins in the past 100 years, looks in the mirror and cry. For it's the soul of the league that's on trial. No longer can old skeleton smile. Just shake like those pep pills and drugs that are swept under the rug while the gat of the thug is shoved into the backs of the bosses who push aside the integrity of the game for the payoffs and booze. The record is broken, the record is cast. The crowd doesn't say much when the black shadow is cast into stone, the graveyard in the hall. He cast the first shadow, so old skeleton did fall. The crowd remains silent. The crowd still remains. Old skeleton washes up in a sea of notoriety like the spit of his fame. Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay, don't mind my voice. I had an audition where I had to scream.
All right.
What?
Yeah, exactly. So this is called The Old Bat Retires. So the old bat retires, giving the ball something new to do, probably find its way into a brand new mitt, to be played with and spit upon and fingered and twisted and thrown goodness knows how many times. But the ball loves it and doesn't have to worry, now that the old bat is retiring and won't have to keep an eye out for where the ball's been. And speaking of balls, this is a cover. I guess I'd say this is a Flabby Hoffman cover. This is called Sean Connery's Balls. Sean Connery's balls laying gently on my chin. Sean Connery's balls. Thank you.
I forget what he's like. He ran a show in the 90s and I read stuff there and it's been long lost. I'm like, I haven't seen anything with Flabby Hoffman and this triple plus awesome. And yes, he's like, I'm going to get ready for my microphone. If anybody who doesn't know, I think everybody here does know, but oftentimes otherwise this place would be recording it. I would be recording this for an open mic. If you have an issue, if anybody here had an issue with being videotaped, say, hey, Janet, boss lady, whatever, I don't want to be on video. I won't put you on video, otherwise you would be in a video on YouTube and be in a podcast in a couple of weeks for it. So I give you that warning. I think I do that every week, but I just say it anyway, just so that everybody knows. And now, Davey, my man here, he's like, I'm getting ready.
I'm trying to.
Is there anything you need from me, my darling? I'm so looking forward to whatever he does, so please give it up for Mr. What?
The standard, A, perfect. So that we can all see.
Okay.
Do you need a microphone?
Yes, I do.
I don't know if both of them.
Is it on? Yeah, what do you know?
One, two, yeah.
Yeah, well, he needs both of them, of course he did. Little picky performance artist type. Davey Wilcome, give it up for him, give it up for him, yeah! Oh, no, that wasn't good enough. Come on, yeah!
Thank you. Thank you.
Bring this one down. Sorry, this wasn't set up for non-poetry. But it's good to play though.
Yeah, I'm Davey Wilcome. I'm from Chicago. And I didn't bring my poems with me, but I did bring some songs that have somewhat of value. I brought my crystals and gemstones. I wrote the song for my girlfriend. She died in 2009, October 31st. She was a Jehovah's Witness, and she died on a pagan holiday. She did like to dress up, though. She just didn't celebrate Halloween.
Short, if you wanted to, or 2-minute thing, something. Just read.
I'm playing softer songs because it's like I don't want to drown out poetry. Mine wasn't that loud, so I'm saving my power songs for later. My softness. Goes to my girlfriend. across the ocean floor. I love you, you love me too. After all, what the hell were we supposed to do? I used to like to watch your toes curl up in the sand. I really love it when you call me the man. Now you're gone, gone away. Don't return, I'll wait someday. I know you're in a better place. 'Cause way down here, it's hell down here. Sandy beaches at night. You never ever had no fight.
Thank you. And this is the man that is here. This is fine. Well, I'm this tall lady. This is fine. Well, am I not? I think I'm taller than pretty much everyone, so it's concerns for me. So keep in mind, if anybody is interested in music, immediately following this every other week when we're running the Cafe Gallery here, there's a singer-songwriter night, and there's a lot of cool original music. And and he's like, I've seen you, can I come here early and do this? And I'm like, yes, you so double plus can. That was so awesome. So I wanted to do a quick piece that was actually from this, and end for like 2 minutes so everybody can get a refill before the Bob Lawrence feature. Yeah, give it up for Bob. Exactly. Well, that wasn't really an applause call, but I had to do it. So this, as I said, there are 2 editions of this. There is the Issues collection and the Chapbooks collection. And the Chapbooks collection has a select few pieces from the issues, like people who happen to be in every single issue, like Fritz Hamilton or somebody, or even Bruce Manson. I think there's one piece from his in here as well, because if you got a lot, yeah, right. You know, he's got most of his stuff in the other one, but I think there's one of his in here, but I figured I'd read one of mine from one of the chapbook pieces because I thought it was a good ending. This is from the chapbook Couldn't. Thank you, Kara. This is called Everyone Has a Choice. I'm visiting the 3rd poorest country, I think. But everyone is just so happy around here. And this blew my mind, so I had to ask a local why everyone seemed so happy. And they told me that here, everyone has a choice. You can either choose to be happy or choose to be sad. And we choose to be happy. And you know, I think they're happy because they carry around 900 pounds of I don't give a shit. Because here, you might not be able to choose to wealth your way out of this rut, but you can at least choose to be happy. So, ladies and gentlemen, you're going to be gold plus happy after you guys get a drink right now, and then it was a few minutes ago, phenomenal feature from Mr. Bob Lawrence. So, we'll see you back here in like 2 minutes. I'll refill right now. I want Trust to be like swamped with people, so go get stuff. We'll be back in just a minute.